Good evening. I'm Madison Carmouche. Nikki Haley says she will remain in the race for the GOP nomination at least through Super Tuesday, even after losing in her home state to former President Donald Trump. As CBS's Christian Benavidez reports, Trump's victory in South Carolina is being overshadowed by comments he made at a rally for Black conservatives.
It's great to be here.
A defiant Nikki Haley in Michigan tonight, vowing to remain in the GOP primary race even after defeat in her home state of South Carolina.
70% of Americans have said they don't want Donald Trump or Joe Biden in this next election.
Wow, that is really something. This was a little sooner than we anticipated.
Former President Donald Trump gave his victory speech after being declared the projected winner just minutes after the polls closed Saturday. Ultimately, Haley came in about 20 points behind Trump. Yet that overwhelming victory is being overshadowed by racially charged comments Mr. Trump made at a gathering for Black conservatives this week.
The mugshot, we've all seen the mugshot. And you know who embraced it more than anybody else? The Black population.
Nearly every day, Trump drives people away.
Mr. Trump's allies have come to his defense.
This is something similar that Black people had to deal with the justice system themselves. And so their look of it is real simple. Well, dang, if the government's going after him with foolishness, he can't be that bad.
Haley says it's comments such as those that will hurt Trump in the general election.
I know 40% is not 50%. But I also know 40% is not some tiny group.
The next primary contest will be on Tuesday in Michigan, followed by Super Tuesday a week later. Christian Benavidez, CBS News.
The NAACP also blasted Trump's comments, the organization's president Derek Johnson writing in part a statement that they are, quote, outraged but not surprised by yet another racist remark from the former president, end quote.
Well, it's certainly been a mild day across southern and eastern Kentucky. We saw temperatures climb into the upper 50s. Let's start off tonight by taking a look at your almanac. You can see London topped out at 58 today. No precipitation today as of the recording of the official measurement at 4 o'clock. But we are likely going to see a few showers overnight and running a little bit of a surplus of rain right now, about an inch above where we would typically expect to be. Similar situation over at Jackson, 58 your high after a morning low of 27. Definitely a chilly start to the day out there, but nowhere near as chilly for your Monday morning commute. In fact, most of us going to wake up into the 40s and maybe even near 50. Corbin, Whitley City, your overnight projected low right at 50 degrees each. 43 over in Jonesville, Virginia, and Hyden. 41 Beattyville, Booneville. 39 up in the Jackson, Syersville, Paintsville. So just a little bit cooler up into the upper end of the Big Sandy. And temperatures are going to climb quite a bit for your Monday. We will see a few passing showers overnight tonight. Not a lot of rain out there, just hit or miss showers as temperatures go into the upper 40s for most of us. Cooler in a few spots, but everyone climbing into the upper 60s under partly to mostly sunny skies for your Monday. So some nice weather heading our way, Madison, but it's not going to last too long as we've got showers and storms heading our way. We'll talk about that coming up here in just a few minutes.
All right, Shane, thank you. Space history was made this week as the lunar lander called Odie reached the surface of the moon after more than 50 years. The historic mission was worked on by scientists around the world, including at Morehead State University. The university's 21-meter space tracking antenna and Space Missions Operating Center played a key role in the lunar landing, but the mission wasn't without its issues. Mission Control lost communication for 6 minutes, and now on the moon's surface, Odie is on its side.
But one of the few stations that has the capability to command and track spacecraft at the moon and on the surface of the moon.
Morehead State tells our sister station WKYT, despite the issues, Odie is still sending data and receiving commands. Intuitive Machines is still working to assess exactly how much work Odysseus can carry out on the lunar surface before it loses its solar energy, as lunar night is around a week away. One Boonville restaurant is bringing back an old favorite. Spencer's Dairy Bar recently brought back a recipe for its burgers. It has been dealing with long wait times of up to an hour. One of the owners, Judy Spencer, says they wanted to honor their customers and bring back something special, adding they even changed the fries.
And then we had the big thick French fries. We'd gotten away from them, so they were able to get both of those back and have, I think they sold them at the price they were when we first had the big Spencer. They're going to keep the French fries though, because they're a better grade of French fry. So we're going to keep them and have much better fries.
Spencer says it has been great to see all of the new success their recipe is bringing. She adds it could not have been done without all of the hard work put in throughout the years, starting with her mother and father-in-law. The Lift Every Voice Black History celebration was held this afternoon in Lexington at the House of God on Georgetown Street. The event started at 4 o'clock and included several guest speakers, including Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman. At the event, Coleman spoke on the importance of the day and emphasized how education will play a key role in shaping the future of the Commonwealth and equality.
And I believe that the future of Kentucky, the future of our economy, our future leaders, they are in our classrooms today. And I am of the firm belief that education is the solution for every single challenge that we face. It is how we even the playing field.
The event also included several other notable speakers. The 2024 legislative session in Frankfort is more than halfway over, and that means the push to pass legislation is ramping up. Jessica Umbro discusses one of those bills that made it out of one of the chambers this week.
Senate Bill 48 is just a two-word change to the current state law, but those two words carry weight. The bill would change the timeline for treating repeat offenses of theft by unlawful taking or disposition as a single offense. One of the bill's co-sponsors, Senate Minority Whip David Yates, told me Friday that it would increase accountability for those repeatedly committing these crimes.
Unfortunately, we're seeing more and more adults using young people in commissions of crimes and petty theft crimes.
Senator Yates says Senate Bill 48 would go hand in hand with restorative justice and diversion programs.
But you cannot have zero response and zero accountability. It's not fair to the general public, it's not fair to the retail associations, and it's not fair to the young people that are committing the crimes.
He says changing the law's timeline would help to ensure people who commit these crimes repeatedly are held accountable.
The aggregate right now over the commission of ongoing offenses is within 90 days. We increased that 90 days to 1 year so that if someone does commit repeated offenses over the course of a year, they will be held accountable.
It's certainly something that a legislator could hold up and say, well, I'm trying to be tougher on crime.
However, Lexington defense attorney Brent Cox says he's not sure how many people this law would impact and raises concerns about how the timeline would be implemented.
Once that case is final, they can't really go back and reopen it if there's another theft charge committed later in the year. So I'm not sure how they're going to deal with that. It'll be interesting to see.
Senator Yates says he hopes to work with retail associations and the police to communicate better about these crimes, which he says contribute to significant losses for businesses.
There's got to be accountability. So this is for all the moms and pops that have closed their doors and for those that are on the verge. We're trying to do something.
Senate Bill 48 passed in the Senate chamber Friday by a unanimous vote of 37-0. It will now be introduced in the Kentucky House of Representatives. Back to you.
With the adjusted timeline, multiple offenses may be combined and treated as a single offense, and the value of the property from each offense could be aggregated in order to determine the appropriate charge. State lawmakers are running out of time to file new bills. Tomorrow is the last day representatives can introduce new legislation. Senators have through Wednesday. After that, lawmakers will have the rest of the session to debate what's on the table. Coming up at 11, one Hollywood comedian announced they are dealing with the diagnosis of a rare syndrome following social media comments.